Hello and welcome to Soft Talks Photography. Today we're speaking with Chris and we're going to be talking about video editing tips and hopefully we'll be learning something new today in terms of software and how things work. So hi Chris, I'll take you straight to Chris and he can give us some information about this.
Hey, Zolf, thanks for having me on here. Well, honestly, just jumping right into it, let's just start with the first half of the question: best video editing software. At the end of the day, whatever the best video editing software is, the one that you learn and the one that you like the most. Personally, I work with Premiere Pro for everything that I ever do. I have used HitFilm, I've used DaVinci Resolve, I've used Final Cut Pro X. But at the end of the day, Premiere Pro has always been the one I've learned. It's the one I've worked with, and it's the one I like the most. It's the one I've used. Whereas a lot of my other friends use, like I said, DaVinci Resolve, HitFilm, Final Cut Pro X. And at this point, they all have file exports where you can just work between the different editors just fine, because one will go to another, the other will go to this one. They all just work together at this point. Not as perfect as say like the Adobe Creative Link, but at that point, nothing's really as built in as the same software is working together. So in my opinion, best video editing software, Premiere Pro. For you guys, whatever you guys want to use, whatever you have learned, and whatever you like the most. I think Premiere, Avid, and DaVinci Resolve give the most flexibility, but you don't always need the flexibility. Sometimes you just need, to put clips together. And Final Cut Pro is perfect for that. Premiere's perfect for that. Whatever you need to use. And some video editing tips I have. This is a really loaded question to be quite frank, but biggest thing is just not getting in your own head. Like so many times I've actually started editing and I've started putting together a short film or putting together a YouTube video, and it's not how I want it to look. It's not like perfect, but I just dropped 3 clips in. I haven't done anything different. I have just put these clips in, but it doesn't look great because I haven't gotten to do the work yet.
How about a step before that? So while you're editing, so for example, when you're preparing for editing, when you're shooting, like syncing up the audio and all those bits, is that something you already think of beforehand to try and make the editing bit a bit easier for you?
I do, yeah. Anytime I actually start recording, I will clap 3 times.
Okay.
And that lets me sync up the audio near perfectly every time. And since I've used my audio recorder and my camera for so long, I've got the settings tweaked where there's no desync on them after that.
Okay.
Some people might have different problems. Some people just need to work with the settings on and stuff like that. I've seen people just do a single snap. People use little clapper boards like from Hollywood films. I just clap 3 times, and that's all I do.
What type of audio recorder are you using at the moment?
I'm using a Tascam DR40 if I'm doing anything with my shotgun mic or like with an XLR input.
Okay.
Otherwise, since the lavalier mic I use for most of my YouTube videos has a headphone jack mount, I just plug it straight into my camera, and then I'll have a backup audio running in the background just in case I lose it. But the lav mic works perfect for YouTube, which is what it makes my life easier. It takes another step out since it records straight into the camera.
And the Tascam you've got, does that let you plug into the PC as well, so you can use it as like a sound mixer, or is it just a portable type of recorder?
It's just a portable recorder. You can't plug it into the computer. That I've found that I've actually tried. Every time I've tried it, it doesn't work that way. So if they release a software update or anything that I can install that does that, it'd be great. But I've not found anything like that yet.
Yeah, I was thinking because I need to improve my audio as well, and especially for podcasting, that's something that's quite handy. I've seen the Zoom for H4n, I think that offers an option. So I'm in the market for one. So I thought, as you're here, I'll ask you about that.
The Zoom H4n, a friend of mine has that one. He absolutely loves it. Tascam and Zoom, you can't go wrong with either of them, honestly.
Okay. That's great. Thank you. And any additional, I know the questions are a bit loaded, like you mentioned, but tips wise for the editing. Is there anything you find that the main kind of points that you spend quite a bit of time on that could help someone watching this to prepare for? So for example, with some of my videos, what I try to do is when I'm recording, I try and sync up the audio while recording, which is easier for me because I'm doing YouTube videos. But for yourself, obviously there's multiple scenes and there's videos, so getting all those laid together. Do you have like any sort of workflow that you stick to for memory cards to label scenes so you know where you are, especially with the film, because that can get quite long and keep track of everything?
Memory cards themselves, not really. I just kind of use I have a couple like 128 gigs that I use in the camera, and then I have a couple 16s that I use in the audio recorder. And that's kind of just how I separate those. Just like if they're smaller, they go to the recorder. If they're larger, they go in the camera. But most of my organization comes after the fact, comes in, after I get everything moved on. I'll What I do is I import all the videos into breakdowns like camera A, camera B, camera C, or scene one, scene two, scene three. And I do the same thing with the audio. And from there, I'll just like kind of pair them up like, say, for example, shot one, I'll go through and label shot one, shot two, shot three. But then I'll do the same thing with the audio and shot one, shot two, shot three. And that makes it a lot easier for me to like know like, oh, these two audios in this video work together, these two go together, because there's been a lot of projects where I've had them all just like thrown into the folder and I don't know what anything goes together. I've had to spend hours searching for just like one audio clip that didn't exist because it didn't get recorded with this video.
Right.
But I didn't know that because I didn't label them. I didn't go through and didn't rename anything, so everything was just jumbled names like AV12752319. That means nothing to us.
Yeah. That's true. Yes, I think. Thank you. I think that's been a nice look into the more editing side of things. So that would help out anybody looking in this with those various tips that you've gave. Keep them in mind if you're making films. We've got a few videos up with Chris that we've filmed, and make sure to check those out. Where we've been speaking about various topics from his camera, his lenses, his documentary that he's doing, which is coming further on down the year, which we'll check out, which we'll keep updated with. For now, it's the short films that he's got. But I'd like to say thanks to Chris today, and hopefully we'll be speaking to him more as he goes through his journey, and he's getting a lot of video work coming his way. So that's something that we want to keep an eye on, because we're mainly doing photography here, but we are slowly looking at naturally moving to video. So thanks for sharing all your tips there, Chris, and we'll speak to you again at some point.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And you'll find some additional links to videos around here now, so you can click on those and we'll see you on that next video.